sleep there like they did. And yeah, you know, 100 sit-ups, a couple push-ups, 2 miles, you know, they let me lag behind. There are advantages to being a girl. Yeah, the most grueling aspect, I think, was the research.
And Neil, what were the elements that you saw in the project that made you want to create this world?
From the moment I read the script, I loved the realism. I loved the idea of what would really happen if there really was an alien invasion, and what the people who protect us would actually do. So I loved the idea of being in their shoes, and really the kind of point of view of one Marine Battalion's point of view of an alien invasion, and the realism of that is the thing that really attracted me to the project.
Well, we have time for some questions from the audience. If you have any questions for this panel, we'd love to open it up to you so you can ask. We don't have that much time, but we'll get as many as we can, I promise you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm going to ask my question in a second, but I just got to say, Aaron, want to come closer? Aaron, I loved you.
Aww.
Aaron.
You can do it. We're all pulling for you, man.
What drew you to this role?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think he may have seen you in another project.
And then I'd have to kill you. You know, Jonathan came into a meeting. I was meeting Jonathan for the first time, and he showed me a presentation, and he put YouTube up on the internet, and he had showed me a video of some Marines in Fallujah doing urban combat house to house, and he said, "This is what I want our movie to look like." And I said, "I'm in." And we made a war movie with aliens in it, and nothing could have been better for me. I've always dreamed of making a war movie and having a director like Jonathan. So I would say that Jonathan brought me to the part.
You know, Jonathan, we've all seen footage like that, so much of it, especially with the internet. Is it a challenge to live up to that, to bring the reality into a big movie like this when we're all so familiar with those scenes?
No, of course. I mean, especially there's so much tension in that real footage because you're dealing with real Marines in real situations. So I don't know if you could ever, you know, recreate that intensity, but I think subliminally, subconsciously, when people see the film, they'll be reminded of that because they've seen so much stuff. And I think it'll be very interesting that it is aliens in the place of whatever the enemy is in that footage.
Right. Okay, you have a question?
Yeah, my question is for Jonathan Leachman. You have the realistic footage here, the war footage that looks straight out of Iraq, but then you have the fantastical elements like aliens. How do you find the correct balance between those two things?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the big challenges that we faced in the movie. And so what we did was make sure that, you know, what I love about, say, James Cameron is all his designs are very functional. You see things and they seem like they can work. So even though you understand that things are not real in his films, they seem like they could work. And so when we designed the aliens or the aliens' machinery or the way they would arrive, you know, via meteor to Earth, we made sure that it felt like when you just visually see them, they have a purpose and they work. The aliens are like a real army. They have medics, generals, lieutenants. They have tactics. So we made sure as much as possible, from things like the textures that the aliens are made of to the way they interact with one another, that they felt like they could work. And I think you try and do as much of that as possible to match the realism in the live action footage.
That's a great question. Okay, next.
Hello, this question is for Ms. Michelle Rodriguez. You've been known primarily in the movies you starred as like a macho action girl who doesn't take shit from nobody.
Thank you.
But my question is, have you ever even considered doing something like of a lighter role or something?
Oh, you mean like get raped and win an Oscar? Oh, I'm horrible, I know.
She's tough in real life, too.
No, you know what it is? I have a tendency to gravitate towards physical things at the moment. It's just where I am in life now. And, you know, the grand majority of the time when roles are written of characters that I respect that happen to be female, because I can't play a dude. Don't want to, not interested. But, you know, it's just the majority of the time those are action films. So, you know, I have to stick with what's out there. And 80% of those guys out there writing scripts don't understand the balance between femininity and masculinity. So I hope that projects like what, you know, you guys were introduced to SALT can change things like that and more women start writing for themselves, because I really just feel like it's just a lack of understanding of what the balance between a man and a woman is. There are independent, beautiful, strong women who are sexy and don't necessarily have to be butch like the chicks I play. But you know, it's just a matter of getting that quality out there in the writing.
Okay, we have time for one last question, and you're ready.
Hello, I'm Wally, USC Comic Book Club co-president. Anyways, sorry. My question's for Anna Lucia. My question is, you know, you seem to be drawn towards a lot of strong roles in action films and whatnot. What's more fun for you? Filming a movie like this, which seems to try to be really realistic, sorry, or you know, something more over the top like a Machete or something like that?
You know what? Nice. You know, I have to say the exploitation film genre is something that I was just introduced to recently through Robert. But I gotta say, you know, I am a real big fan of all nations coming together in one film. Like, I've done a lot of this with you, Neil. Actually, you started it for me with Fast and Furious and SWAT. He produced 4 of the movies I've ever been in. Love you, Neil. But yeah, I like it when all these different characters come together in an action film in the name of one thing, whether it's streetcar racing, whether it's tactical warfare. I just find it fun. I like teamwork. I like collaborative efforts. But the exploitation thing is new to me, and I gotta say, it does turn me on. I like it. I think it's hot. It brings out the sexy and the butch, you know what I mean?
Well, Battle LA just looks amazing, and I got chills just watching the little piece we did. I can't wait to see the whole thing when it finally comes out. Congratulations to all of you. Please help me thank those folks for coming out, the creators and cast of Battle Los Angeles. That's it for me, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out today. It's been a pleasure. Have fun.